Hello everyone. It's Friday, so it's time for another Friday reads. Now I have to say that September has not started very strong, but it was to be expected. I'm going to be a lot more busy in September, so yeah, it's life, and we'll roll with it. But yeah, the first book that I read over the weekend was Warlight by Ondaatje. And this was a story of two siblings around Second World War. And at the beginning of the book, the mother tells them that they are moving to Singapore, only the parents, and they will go to boarding school, and they will come pick them up at some point. But yeah, slowly they discovered that was not the truth. And it explores the relationship between these two children and their parents, based on the lies they told them and why did they tell them those lies, and if the children will accept that as a justification of what they did to them or not. So yeah, this was okay. I liked the beginning, especially that had a sense of mystery, but yeah, other than that, it went into a place that I just felt like any other Second World War book. So this was just okay for me. The second book I finished is a little one. It's Woman and Power by Mary Beer. And this is the collection of two speeches that she gave. She's, I think, classics professor. Classics professor in Cambridge. And she gave several speeches about how women are treated completely different when they are trying to reach power. So, for example, women politicians are treated very differently, but any other kind of power as well, in business and everything. And it connects it a lot to the classical mythology, or like the it has a lot of images also of Greek paintings, and like that, for example. And it talks about how from the beginning until now little has changed with relation of how we see powerful women. This was an interesting one. I think a lot of the Greek and Roman things went completely over my head because I haven't done anything about that since high school. But I think this was a really interesting one, and if you are into classics, like classical civilizations, I think you will enjoy this a lot more than I did. And then the last one that I finished this week is Hamnet by Maggie. This is in the shortlist for the Women's Prize for Fiction, and it has been very, very hyped all over BookTube. So I was a bit hesitant to pick it up, because when a book is so hyped, I'm always feeling that it might not be as good, it cannot be as good. I'm happy to report that I really like this. I have a review of it coming up next week, so I don't want to speak too much about this because you will have that review up soon. But I really liked it. I think it is deserving of all the praise and all the hype. I would not say it was my absolute favorite, simply because this was a lot about making you feel the grief that the characters were feeling, and I'm more of a thinking kind of reader. I prefer books that make me think, but other than that, I really liked it. And this is about, if you haven't heard, this is about Agnes, who was the wife of Shakespeare, and their son Hamnet, who dies during a plague, and how it's an exploration of their grief, basically. So yeah, I would really recommend that one. And then the last one that I wanted to talk about that I'm reading, I am 50 pages from the end, but I didn't manage to finish it, and it's Nervous Conditions by Tsitsi Dangarembga. So Tsitsi Dangarembga has a book out in the long list of the Booker Prize, and we are reading that book that week with the Booker Boy Book Club from Kiran, from Katie Reads. And this one, it's a trilogy. This one is the first one, and the one in the prize is the last one. And this is about a girl called Tambu in Zimbabwe, and she wants to go to school, but traditionally she should not be going to school. It's the men that, or the boys that go to school. But she's very determined, and she really, really wants to go. So she finds a job for her to pay herself all the fees, all the school fees. And then it is all about how that process changes her, and how at that time, this was written in 1988, and it shows that even then school is very related to Western civilization and Western culture, and how going to school, which is in principle a good thing, can also change you because it's so disconnected from your culture. Like if you are in a Shona from Zimbabwe, for example, it's very disconnected from your culture. So going to school, it's it gets you educated, but at the same time it also removes you from your environment. And yeah, it's so far it's a very, very interesting one. I'm enjoying it. It's very slow going, I have to say. I mean, I have been reading this for maybe 3 or 4 days, and I still have 50 pages left. But overall, I'm really liking it. I haven't heard the best things about this mournable body, which is the third one, which is the next one I wanted to talk about, because I'm planning to pick that up as soon as I finish Nervous Conditions. I'm not planning to pick up the second one, the Book of Knots, simply because it's really expensive to get it. It's really difficult to find, and it's really expensive, at least for me. And I have heard that they can be treated as standalone, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to read the third one without having read the second one. But yeah, that one doesn't have the best reviews, so I'm a bit hesitant of how that's gonna go, but yeah, we will see. That's the beauty of reading. Sometimes you find things that you never thought you would like, so we'll see. And the other thing I want to pick up next week is The Inheritance of Loss by Kiran Desai, and this won the Booker Prize also at some point. I don't know exactly when, but I don't know much about this. I just picked it up because Kiran, again from Katie Reads, the Booker Boy, he made a review and told that everyone should read it, and I apparently do everything that he says. So I picked it up from the library, and I want to read this next week. So yeah, those are all the books that I am reading, or I will be reading in the few next days. Let me know what you read, if you have read any of these, and what you thought about them. Let's have a chat in the comments. And yeah, other than that, see you in the next video. Bye!